What?
What happened?
I was going to do it, but I can't find your thing.
It's great to be a sports fan in South Florida. Oh, boy. We got back-to-back Stanley Cup winners right here in the neighborhood. How about... All right, guys, welcome back. We are jacked up. I know Teddy and I are jacked up. We got one that's not so jacked up today, but it's all good. I think he was hanging out with Wayne Gretzky anyways after last night. So how about them Florida Panthers? Congratulations to the organization. Unbelievable. Back-to-back Stanley Cup winners. Doing it again this year and raising that banner. Well, I guess they'll raise the banner before opening game next year. I am here with my boys, TK and Teddy. Scott Matthews, this is Get the Edge podcast. We're live here in Boca. I want to introduce you my partner in crime. Here he is, the Panthers' main man, Mr. Teddy Brooks. What's up, Teddy?
What's happening, guys? Listen, I just want to let you guys know something. We love you guys so much. We should be at the beach right now celebrating with the Panthers, but we're here for you instead, and I'm still fired up. I might go to the beach right after this, actually.
No surprise, Teddy. I thought the Panthers were going to win that Stanley Cup, especially against Edmonton. So I don't know what you called. Did you call it in a 6-game series or shorter or what?
I called it 4-2. I called it on the dot.
You did better than Wayne Gretzky.
Wayne Gretzky called it 4-0 Edmonton. You could see the look of.
He thought they were going to score a ton of goals last night, and that game was going to be a high-scoring game. I mean, I don't know. The great one is great, but not great at picking the games.
That's actually you bring up a good point. Most people who play, a lot of people think, I used to play basketball. I'm going to be decent at betting basketball. No, there is no translation between playing a sport and betting a sport. Look at Charles Barkley and Michael Jordan,
beauty.
Two of the best basketball players of all time. They can't win a game to save their lives. So,
all right. Well, listen, we gotta bring my man in here. You know, I still love him and all. TK wins in the house. Tommy King, what's up?
Is it football season yet?
Hey, listen. At least it's over now for you.
I gotta sit at home every time I turn on the TV. I gotta see that shit on TV. Panthers going here, Panthers going there. So let them have their joy for another.
You're gonna come with me to the parade on Sunday?
Is this Sunday?
Fort Lauderdale
on the beach. Yeah,
on the beach, same as last year.
Same as last year.
I think they're doing one at the Sunrise at the stadium too. They're working on something like.
They usually do something there.
Where's
Also,
the Hard Rock and all this? No, nothing with the Hard Rock.
I don't think so. No,
really? I'm surprised. I would think a venue like the Hard Rock, they could get a bunch of people in the arena.
But how are you gonna have a parade?
Oh, parade? No, I'm talking about like it's just some kind of a celebration thing.
Because there's more people. Because there's more seats. You mean?
Yeah, like having something, some kind of festive night. At
too
the Hard
hot
Rock.
Though. People don't want to sit out in the heat.
Well, they got to definitely do something at the Amerant Arena over there.
Yeah,
we might not see this ever again. So people were asking for 25 years. What's up with the Panthers? Well, I'm going to tell you guys something, and maybe you'll agree or disagree. I think the best sports trade in the history of Florida was bringing Matthew Tkachuk to the Panthers.
Oh, without a doubt.
Best trade out of all the leagues, all the teams out there in this state at least, was bringing that guy to the Panthers. Since he's come here, they've been to 3 straight cups, and they've won 2 of them. And he's definitely one of the catalysts, whether he's scoring or not scoring. But what he went through in the playoffs with his injury, based on this conversation he had last night with TNT.
That was a great interview.
Yeah.
Hernia and all that.
Yeah. I mean, this guy was playing like he didn't even know if he could play. And I got to believe in what he was saying, that he didn't even think he might even make it to the playoffs. That's how much pain he was in. He said the team of doctors and all the trainers and all the people around it, he gave a lot of credit to them, saying that as time went on through the playoffs, he started feeling better and better.
Yeah, I absolutely agree with you. He's the heartbeat of the team. He's the centerpiece. They can lose other pieces and kind of replace those pieces, but he's the core of that team, 100%.
Yeah, I mean, LeBron to Miami, granted, won a couple of championships, but I don't think anything more powerful to take an organization that was a 0, never won a championship, and this guy comes, and all of a sudden it's a whole different franchise.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
From top to bottom, bringing the coach in, just a lot of good trades. Zito, the general manager, you got to give him a lot of props. He's made a lot of great decisions. He brought in Marchand at the right time, brought in Jones at the right time, that young defenseman.
But guess what? It's not over yet. He's got to do some. He's got some
signings.
Do your celebrating, but now you got some work to do, because if they can keep these I know it's hard to win multiple years in a row, but if they can keep these pieces together, and these pieces can stay healthy, there's no question in my mind they do this again. There's nobody better unless Edmonton. Edmonton needs to figure out what they're going to do.
Yeah.
They have the best
They got
player.
issues.
They have the best player in the league. They just lost twice in a row.
Let me ask you. You sent me something before. It was pretty crazy. A hat trick paid $25,000 to one.
$100 bet pays 25. There's never been a hat trick. I think they were saying. So
I don't think anyone's ever scored 4 goals in a game before in a Stanley Cup final game.
They were talking about in a Hard Rock app. It was a bet $100 to win 25,000. There would be a hat trick in the game.
Wow.
Should have put a couple bucks on it.
Hey, somebody would do it for shits and giggles, right? Just to have some fun.
I didn't see it.
I mean, Sam Reinhart, talk about a guy that just exploded in the last 4 games out of nowhere. He was just pouring pucks in the net left and right. I think he had a four-goal game streak and obviously gets 4 goals last. What did he score? Like 7 goals in the.
He scored 7 goals, and they all came in the last 3 games.
4
games. Yeah.
Unbelievable. I mean, just think about how that team came together. I mean, that's what made them so unique because they had so many weapons overall, so many different lines, so many great players that they can match up well, and they all played as a group. That was the difference between them and Edmonton. You saw how Edmonton kind of fell apart and kind of broke away, from as a team. It became more of an individual kind of sport for them, where the Panthers were always in it as a group. And when they were in the group, they were the dominating, obviously, side of that series.
Yeah, who's the first guy to get traded now from the Panthers? Who are they going to get rid of first?
I don't think they trade anyone.
I don't think it's about trading.
I think it's about
getting rid about money and stuff like that.
Well,
I heard them already talking on ESPN. A couple players.
You love that ESPN, huh?
I watch ESPN every morning, man. I watch that. It's great to watch. And,
I think the biggest.
You should work on ESPN TV.
I should.
The 3 biggest question marks from what I'm hearing are going to be Marchand, because he just signed a 1-year deal with them this year. Bennett, because he's a free agent. He just
I think they're going to keep Bennett, man.
But if they keep Bennett, Marchand, and Ekblad, there's names right there on the screen. He's the other one, that defensive player. He's up for re-signing also. Kachuk's already locked in. He's not going anywhere. Bob's locked in. He's not going anywhere.
Yeah.
Reinhart, Barkov, they're all locked in.
Yep.
So it's those 3 pieces that we got to look out for, T. That's what I think.
All right. Well, congratulations to the Florida Panthers. I stuck with them all the way. It's before the playoffs started. What I tell you guys, Panthers are going to the Stanley Cup. As it went on, I said Panthers win the Stanley Cup.
Well, there's one problem, Scotty. You talked me into hedging my plus 850.
Yeah.
You talked me into hedging, so I didn't get as much as I could have, but it's okay.
Well, you had sure money. So what did you end up making instead of 850?
I made 2K.
Oh, I'm saying, but the odds went down drastically or a little bit. When did you hedge it?
No, I hedged it before the series started. It was even money.
Okay,
yeah.
I got you. Well, listen, you were smart. You grabbed the money
last night, man. You could have got a nice little price on it. You went to lost that much. I'm reading on there right. Most likely players to go for the Florida Panthers: Sam Bennett, number 1.
Yep.
Ekblad, number 2. Marchand, number 3.
Those are 3.
Nate Schmidt, number 4.
Nate Schmidt, yeah.
Yeah.
So
I also, one thing I wanted to bring up. I thought it was a really cool thing that the Panthers did, letting the players that never won the Stanley Cup carry the cup around first before the players that have won the cup with them in the past. It was a pretty cool thing that they did, letting some of the young, whatever they were younger or they were older guys that had never won a cup before, that they had the chance to carry it around and celebrate with it before the guys that won it last year did. What did you guys think of that? Pretty cool? That they gave him. You don't care. What am I talking to him for? Why am I talking to him?
I went to bed last night. I couldn't care less, man.
He's worrying about bet and going into the WNBA with.
I thought it was really cool. Just back to retaining those guys. I don't see, Ace Anson on the broadcast yesterday. He said that if there was a bet, he would bet money that Marchand and Bennett would return.
Yeah,
and I agree.
I heard that.
I just don't think this is something that's so rare. You don't walk away from this for an extra couple $1 million, in my opinion, because you're still, if it's $8 million versus $10 million a year, I think you stick around.
Well, we got one nail in the coffin for sports being done now with the obviously the NHL finished, and again, we congratulate the Panthers for doing it successfully the 2nd year in a row. We are in Game 6 going tomorrow night in the NBA Finals. Could be one game away from NBA season finishing, and then we're going to be back to WNBA and MLB if that's the case. Have you guys looked at the NBA going tomorrow night? You got OKC, 6.5 points on the road.
221.5 too in total.
Yep, going against Indiana with a banged-up Halliburton for Indiana. That could change the complexion of everything, obviously, that injury with Halliburton. And it showed, the other night. Obviously, I'm surprised they even hung in there and lost by only 11 with.
Is he going to be playing tonight?
Tomorrow night.
Tomorrow night, I mean?
Well, he's got an MRI today or yesterday, an MRI, so they'll get the results back. But most likely he's.
I felt as he goes, they go, and I've been probably pretty right on that because the games he was off, that they didn't have a shot. The games he's been on, they've been in every single one of them. I think you cashed your bet on the 5.5 total, right?
5.5.
Congratulations!
That was the only bet I made on that series.
Yeah, that was good. Nice play there. I thought it's going to go longer than most thought too, so that would make me right there with you. I thought it was going to be a competitive series. It really should be. I mean, the Halliburton injury out of nowhere kind of screwing it up. Obviously, the chances for Indiana, but they have forced it to a Game 6, and they are home in their building, and they can definitely get a spark, obviously, with their team and that crowd behind them. 6.5, 221.5. What are you thinking?
I'm looking for OKC to finish them off here on Thursday night, man. Without that Halliburton in the game, I mean, he didn't really do much in the game. What, he had 4 free throws the other night?
That's it.
That was it. He had no
They
points.
couldn't score on offense.
But OKC just closed it out and blow them out again here. I mean, they've been up on every game, at least 15 plus every game, right? Every game?
Not every game. But they've been up double digits in some of them.
I think every game they've been up at least 15 at one point
Except
in the
for
game.
the game, I think it was on that Friday.
Yeah.
That last Friday when I was down in the Keys.
That was a close one.
I don't remember that. I watched it.
That was a back and forth
It's
one.
a shame that one of the star players has to, an injury comes into play late into
That's terrible.
the series.
I mean, going back to hockey, that would be like Bobrovsky getting hurt in the middle of the series. Like, that really changes things. It's really hard to win.
Yeah.
Basketball.
Especially against a team that everyone thought was going to blow them out to begin with. No one thought this series was going past 5 games. Nobody. I mean, all the experts.
Well, besides
all the
these guys sitting at the table here.
Well, listen, I just got to find out what Charles Barkley likes, and we just bet against him. I think that's better than us having to put in the work.
We just go against Barkley and Gretzky.
Oh, yeah.
We'll be good.
He was all over Edmonton last night. He said they're going to Game 7, and then he picked them in Game 7 to win it.
His brother-in-law works for them.
Charles Barkley?
No. I thought you were talking about Wayne. Wayne Gretzky.
Wayne Gretzky.
Speaking of basketball, did you guys hear? Speaking of the finals, did you hear about Stephen A. Smith?
What about him?
Here's how boring basketball is, NBA right now. They caught Stephen A. Smith during Game 4 of the finals playing solitaire on his phone while the game was going on. They're making a big deal out of it. They're making a huge deal out of it, actually.
I mean, what's the big deal?
Because he's supposed to be watching the game and making his analysis.
Yeah, I guess. You got to watch it. You got to watch every second of every. I guess if you're involved in a game like that, you're right. You're going to be taken away from it for a bit.
Yeah.
Everyone likes to find fault. Everyone looks to find fault. I mean, he's excellent at what he does.
He's great.
Very, very, very opinionated and pretty damn sharp in my eyes. I mean, it doesn't get any more on top of his craft than a guy like Stephen A. Smith.
No, I agree. I like him. I'm a fan overall.
All right. So anything on the game tomorrow night you're looking at in the NBA?
No, I'm going to lay off this one.
Lay off it.
I mean, I was thinking about going with Indy, but if Halliburton plays, he's probably not going to be right. You know what I mean? So probably going to stay away from it.
I'm going to agree with TK on this one. Him and I don't agree too often, but we do agree every so often. And I think OKC wraps it up. I think Indiana gave it their best shot. I think it's now when this guy Daniels, is it Daniels? Yeah, Daniel and SGA worked together. No, Williams, excuse me. Jalen Williams poured in over 40. He scored more than SGA the other night. He scored between both of them like 72. I mean, this guy's a freak. If he shows up with SGA, it's going to be a long night for Indiana. I think that's what's going to happen. I think they're going to finally.
All so young.
Yeah.
Yep. They'll be all back next year. They interviewed that guy after the game. He said, did you know they cut it down to 4 points? He goes, I had no idea we even got it that close. He goes, I thought we were up by double digits the whole time.
Yeah. Well, he's good, man. Yeah, he's a secret weapon on top of the secret sauce with SGA, and they got a lot of good role players around them. Holmgren and, other players like that as well. So they're the real deal team. That's why everyone thought they'd win this series. They were the number 1 seed all year long, basically, the best team in the NBA. And they're proving it right now. I think they wrap it up. I'm going to agree with T. I'd bring that line down to -5 at 6.5. I'd buy it to 5. And I jump on OKC and I lay the 5 guys. I think it's over tomorrow night. I thought it would be over last night with the Panthers. I said they would close them out. This series wasn't going back to Edmonton. No way, no how. Panthers were too strong. That was correct. I think it's the same situation. OKC too strong right now, especially with that injury. So I'm going to take OKC -5 and call it a day, and basketball will be over, I think, tomorrow night. Yep. We'll be moving on.
Getting ready for a little preseason football come out. Training camp's coming up, all that stuff.
Hall of Fame game is in 6 weeks from today, boys.
Unbelievable.
Yeah. Are you doing your homework
6
already?
weeks from tomorrow, actually.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff out there. A lot of
When's
key.
the All-Star game? July
July 15th.
So you're heading on the Keys?
I'm going to be heading. I'm actually got back-to-back vacations for All-Star break, T.
And I was down there the whole weekend, man. I never, ever seen it that dead in the Florida Keys in my life.
Yeah, you were telling me. What's going on?
I walked in the bar on the side. I don't know. The bartenders all said it's just been dead.
Money? Is it too expensive?
It's the only time it gets busy down there is when the cruise ships come in and 3:34.
Could be the economy, maybe. I don't know. But
a lot of people are complaining that their businesses are drying up a little bit.
Yeah.
They're not seeing the restaurants because the price
100%.
of food has gone up.
Right.
I mean, you go out to just an average kind of restaurant, even a sports bar, 3 or 4 people, you're spending over $120, $150. And that's without drinking.
Yeah.
I don't know what your bill would be, but
we had some hefty ones.
And then the grocery stores. I mean, depending on how many you're feeding,
that's why we got to keep picking winners, man.
Got to keep picking winners, man. There's only one way to keep up with inflation, and that's inflating our percentages up.
Staying consistent with the games. That's what we're trying to do.
The only way to do it. And the other thing, to answer your question, T, I'll be on a cruise, and then I'm going as soon as I get back from the cruise Monday morning, and I'm leaving for the Keys Tuesday morning. Going fishing Tuesday. I'm going to stay there for a couple of days.
The fish were biting, man. They were biting a lot of dolphin running out there.
Nice.
You guys had a big birthday party down there for one of your buddies, right?
Yeah, my buddy Billy's big birthday bash down there, man. It started off on
Did he hit a certain age?
Thursday, 50-something. I don't know, 50-something.
Oh, it wasn't like a special.
It wasn't special. It was just a wild weekend.
Just a getaway.
I know the bartender at the hotel's missing us. We rang up probably one of the biggest bills he's had there in the last few months. So
he was happy to see you.
It was a good little trip, man.
He said, I got the boys from South down here now. I got the boys from Broward down here in the Keys.
It was all people from Fort Lauderdale down there. I didn't really.
That's when I like it. That's what I like when I go to the Keys. When I first started going to the Keys 15 years ago, it was people that were from Florida mostly. Now, you go to Isla Mirada, you see people from Europe, people from all over the country, and that's why the prices are going up because more people are going there. So hopefully they stay.
Yeah,
stay away.
It's not good to hear when places are not seeing the type of travel. People are not traveling. They're cautious about their money and spending it, especially down there. It's not cheap down there.
I did run into it. This is a true story, man. I was sitting at the hotel bar, sat down. There was a guy there. He goes, "Are you TK?"
No way.
I swear to God. He goes, "I watch you guys. You knew people." He said, "Man," he goes, "Let me buy you guys a drink." So, sure enough,
that's
man,
awesome.
We got some fans.
What happened to us?
Yeah,
you were. They mentioned. I said,
checks in the mail, Scotty.
All right. Well, talk about teams right now you don't want to be putting any money into because they're burning it better than smokestacks of these New York baseball teams. The Yankees losing 5 straight games in a row. Last night, a huge favorite gets shut out again for the second time in a row. 3 straight games they've been shut out. 1 in Boston, 2 in their home Yankee Stadium against the Angels. The last 2 nights, lost 5 in a row. And how about the Mets? Lost 4 in a row. If you bet against the New York teams, you're making a lot of money.
Yeah,
over
and the Mets were up 4-1 going into the 8th inning yesterday and blew it.
I had Atlanta. I was kind of remember that was the
Atlanta was the play though.
Well, I don't know if it was the play, but
got
lucky enough to win it.
Atlanta big favorites here tonight. Big favorites. Colorado actually won the other day. It was the biggest underdog.
Baseball's crazy.
Biggest underdog to hit in the last 5 years.
Wow.
They were plus like 300 and something. They won 7-0.
They played against Atlanta, right?
They were huge, plus 300 and something. That team was minus 400.
Colorado. It's funny you say that. They won 3 straight games in a row, playing a deadbeat Washington, who's lost 10 in a row. I mean, something got to give there. One team's lost 10 in a row, and they're making Washington a pretty heavy favor in this game, minus like 165.
Yeah, it's dropping, though. It's like, it's 150 on some sites now. Yeah. I'm looking at it right here.
How can you bet a team, guys? Think about it, whether you like it or you don't like it. I don't really care if you like it or you don't. But how do you bet a team that's lost 10 games in a row against probably the worst team in baseball who's won 3 straight games in a row?
That's a game we do not bet on around these parts, I think. I think we could all agree. I think all 3 of us can agree on that.
We talked about that game yesterday, St. Louis and the White Sox, man. There was something fishy in that game last night. They were only like 120, 130 favorite. They ended up whipping them yesterday. We got to talk about those fishy games over here, Teddy.
Yeah.
Some weird lines out there that just simply do not make sense in some of the baseball matchups.
Well, look at this one tonight. I mean, Atlanta, should they be 180 against the Mets, even though the Mets have lost 4 in a row? I wouldn't be jumping on them just to grab a price to say, oh, I got a good team like the Mets, so let me grab 160 because they should beat a team like Atlanta who's up and down. I don't know about that one. Atlanta's playing a little bit better right now. They're finding ways to scratch and claw where the Mets are giving up games. They lost 3 in a row to Tampa. Last night they gave, like Teddy said, blew a 4-1 lead and lost in the extra innings.
This line looks to me like they're begging people not to take the Braves. Like they just do not want any money on the Braves. Do you agree with me? The odds makers.
What do you mean they're begging you?
I think the odds makers do not want people to bet the Braves.
Well, you got Chris Sale, who's dynamite. We know he could pitch as good as anybody when he's on, and he's going against Blackburn, who's nothing comparison to Sale. So you got to give a huge advantage. And the way Atlanta's been playing a little bit, and the Mets are on a downfall right now, losing 4 in a row. That's nothing in a long season. But the way they've been playing, they were playing really consistent before they've got into this 4-game slide. So I could see this line being high, but this is real high. I think they extra padded it, like you said, to scare people off the game.
Real high.
Yeah.
Like real high. Yeah.
Because if they made this game 150 or something, there'd probably be a ton of money more on Atlanta than the Mets.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. If this game was 140, 150, everyone would be betting Atlanta. When the line starts to get past that 160, 170, 180 mark, people lay off.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. They look for better things to do, or they start jumping in the run line. They might lay 1.5 runs, and that could, listen, the Mets could hang in there and lose by 1. And if you lay the 1.5 instead of worrying about the 180, you could end up losing money and ripping up a ticket instead of cashing. Anything on the plate for tonight that you like in baseball?
I'd like one game going here in the evening action. Kansas City, Texas, man. It seems like a fishy line here itself. Kansas City right now minus 130 against Texas. I know Kansas City beat them yesterday. I think it was 6-1. They beat them yesterday. That was unfortunately on Texas. But Kansas City, man, they're only 1-6 their last 7 games, and that win was yesterday. And you got Texas, man. They're 13-3 their last 16 games at home versus Kansas City.
Yeah, but you got Bubic.
I got Bubic on the mound, of course. I see that, but we got Corbin on the mound too. He's not a bad pitcher himself. I'm going to jump. I'm going to take the dog in this one. I think the dog's going to be barking. Texas plus the 110, 115 here this evening at home.
So, funny thing about Corbin. Corbin's had, he's like a mid-level pitcher, so people don't really pay attention to this. But in my opinion, I would say Patrick Corbin is the most improved player in baseball this year that I can think of. Because for 2 or 3 years, all I did whenever I saw him on the mound, I took the other team first 5 innings. And this year, that ain't working. If you're going against Patrick Corbin this year, first 5, you're not making the money you were. So he has improved big time this year. By the way, you said did you post the Rangers on your free pick yesterday? Was that your free pick?
Free play yesterday was the Cubs.
Okay.
Today was the Rangers.
Okay. But yeah, I tend to agree with you there. I don't think they lose like this again, right?
Yeah, Kansas City, man, they're 1-10 their last 11 games after they won a game.
That's the problem with a guy like Corbin, though. I mean, he might have been, he might be pitching better now, but he could fall real fast too and start shelling a lot of runs out.
He could.
Bubik's been, real tough to muster runs against. He's been real strong. I mean, his record's okay, 5-4, but he's got an ERA under 2, so he keeps them in the game. He definitely gives them a shot to win. And Texas is, they're playing more consistent. Kansas City's 2-8 in their last 10 games, but when you put this guy on the mound, he's been a winner for them when he starts. So that's a tough matchup. I don't know. 125. That's why the Royals are the favorite on this game, obviously because of the starting pitcher advantage. They feel Bubic is much stronger than Corbin.
I can't find your stat, Teddy. With the what is it? It's not the whip. It's the flip. What's the one?
FIP. Fielding.
I've looked everywhere for it. I cannot find it.
Fielding.
Maybe Don Best or somebody to have. I cannot find it.
I get mine off of VEASAN. I get my FIPs off of there. Yeah.
What else in baseball, guys? Anything?
Yeah, I got a little something for you. So what I have is something that it's a good game to talk about because it's kind of like a little educational game for you guys also.
Oh, boy.
It's this Tampa Bay Rays Baltimore Orioles game. So the Baltimore Orioles have a starting pitcher on the mound who's only pitched 1 game in the major leagues. But that 1 game, he pitched 6 scoreless innings. So if you're handicapping a game and you're the average Joe and you're just doing something at work and you're looking at some stuff real quick, you probably look at that game and you say, "Oh, this pitcher pitched a 6-inning shutout last game. He has a 0 ERA. I'm gonna go with the Orioles here." But you don't know that in the minors before he got called up, he had a 5.5 ERA, and that was his first game pitching this year in the major leagues. And you also don't dig deep enough and see that the Rays have the best bullpen in the American League, and the Orioles have the 24 ranked bullpen.
You got to get to the bullpen before you bring the bullpen in. What if they get to the guy, the starter? The bullpen don't matter at that point if Baltimore's up multiple runs.
That's very true, but I've been betting bullpens a lot this year, Scotty.
Yeah, no,
and
I get what you're saying.
It's been successful for me. So, yeah, I like the Rays in this game. I gave it out on my Instagram, but for anyone that...
You like the Rays because you feel they're going to have a commanding lead and just bring the bullpen in and close it out?
Well, not only that, but, yeah, I mean, this pitcher that's only his second game in the majors, yeah, his first game was fine, but just kind of like what you were saying about Corbin earlier, he could come out and get shelled today. You don't know.
Yeah, well, that's...
So it's a combination of both things. It's the fact that he doesn't really have the experience, and the one bullpen is so much better.
The other thing that blows your mind in baseball, you could get all the pitching support you want, and your pitcher pitches dynamite. I had a game the other day. I lost on a 2-hitter. My guy pitches great, but they got no run support.
No run support.
So the team came back and inches out a win on me because I only scored 2 runs, and the other team scores 3 runs in the bottom of the ninth.
That happens a lot with the the Pirates. The Pirates have some really good pitchers. They got Skeens. They got Haney. Who's the other one? I can't think of the third good. They got Skeens and Haney and someone else who's really solid.
But they can't win for those guys.
But they can't score.
As good as Skeens is, you got a losing record.
Exactly, because they can't get run support.
That's why, and most of the times if he's home, he's going to be 160 or higher. If he's on the road, you've been catching some juice with him, Skeens, if you noticed. So sometimes that's why we look to pick our spots, because why lay 160 with him? If you could catch him on the road, maybe against a team that they can match up well against, you get a better price.
Mitch Keller, that's the other guy I was thinking of.
There you go, Mitch Keller.
Look at this Pirates game tonight. Detroit minus 300 with Scuball on the mound.
There you go, Scuball.
He's pitching.
Scuball's dynamite.
Dude, I'm on the site you told me to go to. That's pretty nice, man. They got some good stuff on here.
I get a lot of data from them.
Yeah,
a lot of data.
You subscribed on it?
Yeah, I do. Yeah.
A team that was playing excellent. They won, 7 or 8 in a row? I think it was the Red Sox. They lost yesterday. They're coming back. They got a nice young pitcher, Crochet. He was 6-4 with I think he's like a 2.24 ERA, and he's going against Castillo, who's 4-4 with like a 3.64 ERA, 3.29. It should be an interesting matchup. They're making Boston the favorite in that game, $120. The total on that game is 6.5 runs. So they're thinking that's going to be a pitcher's matchup for sure. Anything on that game you guys like? Red Sox?
I'm actually going to give it out. It's my best bet of the day, but since we're on
Let's go.
I'm going to give it out, man. I got, the guys watching, you can get it there. I'm charging good money for this for my private players. I'll probably get some DMs here in a little bit.
I hear your private players screaming right now.
They've been screaming, baby.
I just sent you a check.
Yeah, but I'm going to jump on Boston, man, minus the 120. It's an early game, goes off at 4 o'clock Eastern.
Yeah.
Yeah, this pitcher is too strong, man.
Think they bounce
too strong.
back?
7-1 his last 8 road starts, this Crochet. I think that's how you pronounce his name, Crochet. But he's pitching strong right now. 2.2 ERA. Just pitching strong. That's my private play. Actually,
these teams like mirror images after 70-plus games. Red Sox are 38 and 37. The other side is 37 and 35, so they're playing the same type of baseball. But the Red Sox did heat it up. They lost their best player, though. They traded him away with Devers, the best player.
That was crazy,
We got TK on the screen here.
Oh, man, I'm sitting over reading it.
Yeah. Ben, what's going on? Are you doing like Stephen A. Smith
I
playing?
Think he's out there.
I think Ben's doing
He's playing solitaire.
No, I think he was looking out the window here.
T,
a lot of stuff
what's up with
Stanley Cup?
What's up with these Don Best records? They're way off.
I already emailed them. Their matchups aren't working. A lot of stuff. We pay a lot of money for that.
Yeah,
paying $600 a month.
Oh yeah,
for their feed, and they can't even fix their records. Their matchups
crazy.
aren't working.
Because Scotty just said Boston and Seattle's record, and I'm looking. It's way different on here. I mean, they're like 2 weeks behind.
Oh, the site you just gave me has got a lot of information. I'm going to have to.
What did you say? Hey, Beak, don't take all my secrets now.
38 and 37
for Boston.
Yep.
So they have Boston at 30 and 34. So they're way off. They're they're missing like 10 games.
Yeah, a couple weeks.
Yeah. Crazy.
She says he's fair. I just got an email from her this morning. She was their texts are on it.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, it's a tough matchup. I mean, you got 2 decent pitchers. They can definitely keep their teams in the game. And both these teams, I mean, the Red Sox, I think, won 8 in a row. or 6, 7 in a row, whatever the case may be. Now they lost their best player. I mean, they won the first game without him. Last night they got blown out big time by Seattle. And today you got Seattle, and they're making the Red Sox a favorite. So I think the Red Sox might be the right side of that game. Just like you said, with the way Crochette's been pitching, he's been solid as a rock. They put the ball in his hands. Seems like he gets a good 6 or 7 innings for them and keeps them in the game with a shot to win it. I think he's a little more stronger right now than Castillo for the other side. So I probably lean towards the Red Sox myself, agreeance with you on that one. Nothing else in baseball, guys?
I do have something.
And I think Houston tonight is a
that
I mean, not
you just took it right out of my mouth.
Oh, okay.
You got Framber Valdez on the mound, Scotty.
Yeah.
He's been pitching long. Like on May 30th, he pitched 9 innings, gave up 1 run. June 5th, pitched 7 innings, gave up 2 runs.
Yeah.
They pulled him a little early against the White Sox on June 12th, 5 innings, 2 runs. But yeah, I love going with this guy. Severino's inconsistent. Last game against KC, 7 innings, only 1 run.
Yep.
But the 2 games before that, 13 runs, Scotty. 13 runs in 10 innings. So, yeah, give me Houston. I'll probably look.
Well, they're just more consistent right now.
And they're kind of
the Athletics are so up
hot.
and down.
They're
they had a good
right
stretch, and then they've gone bad for a bit. And I like to put a good guy on the mound on the road, especially at a 160 favorite price. But I think he's the right guy in this matchup, and I think they're playing smart baseball right now. The Astros more so than the Athletics, so I take advantage, even though it's a high price. It really isn't a high price because I think they're that much better at 160 on the road. So take Houston Astros in this game tonight, guys. You don't have to worry about laying 1.5 runs. I don't get into all that because even if they win, I just want them to win. If they win by 1, I win. So I'm not, worried. I'm not going to try to figure out if they're going to win by 3 runs or 2 runs. Let them win the game. Lay the money at 160, 165. And get yourself a payday because Valdez is definitely the right side of the game.
Definitely. I agree. I'm trying to pull up the first half line on this, but it's giving me some issues here.
What do you want the first half line?
For the Astros.
Houston Astros minus 150.
Really? That's it?
Minus 150, yeah.
Interesting. So that's one that I wouldn't play because I want to see the first half line juicier than the full game. I'd go full game on that one. I'm with you on that.
Severino can get wild. He has a tendency of walking guys, guys getting on base on him, where Valdez is more of a,
consistent.
He's consistent and he's a power pitcher, so he gets a lot of strikeouts. When he's on, he's tough to hit.
Yeah.
So I think there's a big edge just the way these teams are playing right now. I got to give the Astros a big edge in this game tonight. I think they could win easily.
I'm with you.
And that's it. Anything else in baseball, guys?
I gave out my 2 games. That's Servino, though. He's only 1-7 his last 8 starts against Houston.
That's what I was saying. And
but that was when he was pitching a different team.
He's had some rough games this year, though. Like I said, last game was good, but the 2 games before that, he gave up 5 runs and 8 runs.
What do you guys think of the new WWE?
AKA WNBA?
Right. AKA WNBA, man. Wow.
I love it.
What's going on? Caitlin Clark always in the center of it.
I love it. They're all over.
And the coaches, they sound like TK now. They're complaining about the referees. TK loves complaining about the referees in games. Now the head coaches are saying these refs need to take control of these games quickly or they're going to let them get out of hand.
You know what I think?
They got to stop fighting in the WNBA.
The NBA's had really bad ratings lately, right? You know what I think they should do?
NBA or WNBA?
NBA. Mm-hmm. I think in WNBA and the NBA, technically they're the same company. I think they need to start allowing fighting. I think they need to start allowing a few.
Yeah, but these guys are so tall and powerful they could hurt each other.
What, and these hockey players aren't?
No, but I'm just saying.
Yeah, they're also
you're talking about
them.
These guys wheel on each other like that. They could cause some serious damage.
Oh.
Remember what happened to that? What was his name? Rudy Tomjanovich when he got hit by, what the hell was his name? So many years ago.
Ron Artest, the Malice in the Palace?
No, it wasn't Ron Artest. This is before that.
You remember that one, though, right?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, that was great. They were fighting.
I was watching that game.
I was, too.
I couldn't believe it when
I was
seeing
too.
it. But the crowd started agitating. They was throwing shit.
Yeah, that's when they
all
went.
over them.
They went in the crowd and started fighting them.
It looked like the hockey days when the Bruins and Philadelphia and the Rangers when they jumped in the crowd and started beating on the fans.
The Broad Street Bullies.
But that Caitlin Clark, man, she's kind of a little crybaby, man. She gets touched, she starts arguing. I've been watching her games.
I like her, man.
Yeah,
I think she's great for the game.
I'd like to see her.
You take her out of the game. It was boring as all hell when she was out for those 5 games. You didn't hear nothing. Now all of a sudden she's back in, and you're hearing all this, crazy stuff, and they're worrying about the referees calling these games, tight, and the referees are not, staying on top of things. So, I mean.
Like yesterday game, their favorite line closed at -16. What's the final score? 88-71, won by 16.
Which one?
Connecticut.
No, they won by 17.
They won by 17.
Yeah.
17. The line was, I guess, 17 and a half, 16.
Yeah.
So they covered by a point.
I told you yesterday the play I liked.
Atlanta Dream?
Yeah.
That was a good
Plus
play.
9?
Yeah, plus 9.
I thought they'd stay in that game. They're playing well enough. They played against New York Liberty, and I thought that game was way out of whack. There's certain numbers you could really, if you really watch these things and you're looking at how they play against, certain teams playing right now and certain stretches, you can catch some big number mistakes. That game was definitely a big number mistake given it, what was it, Atlanta, 8.5, 9 points. I got it up to 9, so it really wasn't even close. They were covering the whole game.
And Liberty scored 26 in the fourth. I had a little bit of that game on last night. So,
what do you guys think of the WNBA? Fans of it or no?
I'm not a fan of WNBA.
No,
not a fan at all.
Teddy,
not.
I hate to even ask Teddy.
No, not yet.
If Teddy hates the NBA, he's got to really destroyed us.
Yeah,
the question is, would you go buy a ticket to a game? I don't think so.
Here's what I'll tell you. Here's what I'll tell you. I have an answer. You don't even have to. I am going to attempt to watch a couple games this week. Now that hockey's over, now I don't have to focus on that. Now that NBA is pretty much done, I'm gonna try to watch. Like at least I'm gonna watch the Fever. Obviously, I want to see Caitlin Clark, but I'm gonna try to watch a game or two, and then next week I'll have an answer for you. How about that?
There you go.
I'd rather watch women's cricket over watching WNBA. I can tell you that right now.
So let me ask you a question. Your opinion, both of you. She's the real deal, obviously.
Yeah,
Clark.
she's great.
I mean,
what does she really do? She sits back and shoots like half-court three-pointer. She's not going inside. She's not.
She's doing everything.
She's shooting outside.
That's like saying, what does Steph Curry really do?
At least he can go to the basket, though. She don't go to the basket. And then when she does, she gets touched, and she's like crying. Just like Angel Reese says, touches her, boom. That was a good video the other day. She was playing Caitlin Clark, and another girl put the technical sign, and sure enough, they called it technical.
Yeah.
But I guess she's getting a lot of.
We'll see. Did you see Did you see Brittany Griner?
Oh yeah, what was that? She flatly denied something.
She flatly denied. They said
something.
They have her on
slur word or something.
No, Brittany Griner, the girl that got trapped in Russia for like a year with the weed.
Plays in the WNBA, Phoenix.
She has a really deep voice. A lot of people say she's a guy.
She probably is.
But
like Key West.
Take it easy.
She mouthed effing white girl. That's what it looked like. And then they asked her about it, and she said, "Oh, I would never say that. There's no place. There's no place to say stuff like that in the league." Mm-hmm. But it looked like she said it. So
yeah, but you got to look at it. Without Caitlin Clark, where would the WNBA?
That's what I'm saying. We wouldn't even be talking about it probably right now.
I mean, I think she's great for the game. I mean, she's a great shooter. I mean, she brings a lot of energy, a lot of excitement to the game. Makes her team a lot better when she's in than when she's out, obviously. And she sparks the team around her. I mean, when you could shoot like that from the outside, it opens up the inside, and it gives other players opportunities to score. So, it's a major weapon to have, and she'll probably end up being one of the front runners for MVP of the league this year in her second year in the season. Anyways, so we got all that. Let's do like a little recap here.
How about the golf, man? What a crazy ending there. So you're talking about some Rio Costa. What a crazy putt that guy made. How do you make that putt?
Crazy putt, crazy conditions, crazy golf course.
J.J. Spawn, 64-footer for birdie.
Did you see Wyndham Clark? He went and he destroyed lockers. They're making a big deal out of it. He lost it. Rory McIlroy slammed his driver into a tee box marker and broke it. Like this course, it mentally broke.
That rough is insane. And plus, then he got wet rough going in that. That guy, that rules official, should have had that guy drop the ball again because he hit out of basically a puddle.
Very upset about that. I had an argument with my buddy who I play a lot of golf with. I said I hated that tournament. You're a golfer, you know golf, you love golf. What did you think about that tournament?
That course is just way too.
It's too hard, right? It's not fun to watch it.
You knew the guy hit the ball in the rough. I think
it makes it fun to watch.
I don't.
I like to see the best people sometimes have struggle a little bit instead of playing on easy layup courses.
Yeah.
Why not? Why not watch the best guys, being unfathomable?
That's why I like to live. I like watching other playing music.
Why do you guys want to just see them hit great shots,
No,
hit great shots? Let them make mistakes like me.
I don't like easy courses where they're going to shoot 25 under, but at least I
think it's great that it makes it tough on them.
I don't know.
I mean, you got the best players in the world playing, and they can struggle.
But it's
shows a human element.
But it's like if your shot's this far off the fairway, you're automatically getting a bogey.
Yeah,
that's not right.
Hey, my bet window. Will there be a hole in one, baby?
Yeah, but isn't it?
There was a hole.
What was the odds?
It was plus 120,
nice,
130.
Nice.
I thought you said it was minus.
No, plus
no, it was
120.
plus.
I said for the British Open, it will be.
Yeah. But
I mean,
you're putting the best players in the world for 3 days. And you're saying they're going to make one guy's going to make a hole in one.
The average par 3 was what, 200 plus, or was it?
You giving that out to customers? No,
but I like to watch. If I'm watching the golf, I sat in when I was recovering. I was sat in and watched the golf for the whole afternoon. I'm like Teddy. I do like watching my golf.
There you go.
Well, NASCAR.
You got golf. You got all kinds of stuff you had going on. You were down the Keys. You were watching the golf down there.
I watched the golf when I took my nap in the afternoon after recovering from the early morning edition and. Watch a little golf.
Anything else you guys want to talk about before we call it a day? Because the schedule of games is slowing things down. Obviously, hockey's hockey's done. We got one game left in the NBA, possibly two. If it ends tomorrow night, we're done with that. So we're going to be just talking mainly baseball.
We might have to research this
WNBA.
This club championship in soccer that they're doing. All the big club teams in soccer are getting together and playing like a World Cup.
Don't get me going there.
There's soccer at the Hard Rock Stadium, big one, Real Madrid.
That's the tournament I'm talking about. It's in the U.S.
All right. So since the main focal point is going to be baseball, moving on, we're about 70+ games in. I'm still thinking Detroit is the most consistent team in the league between American and National. Any thoughts? Any thoughts on who you're thinking is the team to beat right now?
Dodgers.
Dodgers.
They're gonna have a huge second half, man. I can see them a monster second half season.
Well, they got the
Ohtani comes in, pitches 1 inning, then he puts the pads on and comes up first batter. And the game he only pitched 1 inning.
What pads?
There's little shin guards, man. Little shin guards. You know.
All right.
I'm with you. I still think that, as crazy as this might sound to you guys, I still think the Yankees and the Dodgers are the two teams to beat.
I think the Dodgers the Yankees got a little problem going, man.
Yeah, slide. Everyone slides.
No runs? 3 straight games? Team like that?
It happens.
No.
In LA,
you'll never see the Dodgers.
I'm going to give it right now who's going to be in the
You'll never see the Dodgers shut out 3 in a row.
It's going to be Cubs-Dodgers.
The NL?
NL. It's going to be Cubs-Dodgers.
I could see it.
I don't know. It's another scratch your head series. Is this one down here? Like I said, the Marlins in Philly. Last night the Marlins beat up on Philly. They were a big dog the night before. Obviously, Philly wins, and now Philly's I think another big favorite today, right? If I'm not mistaken.
They got Ranger Suarez on the mound, of course.
Is he a local kid?
Ranger? I don't know.
No, who was the kid that was local?
Luzardo.
Jesus
Luzardo.
I think he lost last night, right?
He did, yeah. He was. He pitched
Maybe
for.
too many friends came to see him. Or something.
You saw that at the Marlins on Channel 4 News. There was no one at the game.
Well, think you're Jesus Luzardo. There's probably 50 people in the stadium, and half of them are your friends and family. So that's a lot of pressure.
Well, that's what they did the game last night. They told the fans there's no one at the stadium because you got the Panthers playing. They told the fans just go and sit wherever you want, man. Just go and sit wherever you want.
We talked about how the Marlins can show up against better teams at home, and proof last night. I mean, they lost the first game. They had a shot. They fell apart late in the game in the first game, but last night they won easily. I mean, Marlins are 6-4 in their last 10. Philly's 6-4 in their last 10. Not the greatest road record. Philly, they're up a couple of games over 500, but I mean, big price, isn't it? 190.
Let me take a look right now.
No, it dropped. It's like 160. It was 190.
Yeah,
it's
170 right now.
165 on Pinnacle. Yeah. Caesars has it at 175.
I mean, who's this pitcher going tonight? Missouri.
No clue. I'd be lying if I told you I knew who he was.
Yeah, they're bringing him up. So, I mean, that's probably the reason. Obviously, first timer going against a guy like Suarez, who's 5-1.
Yeah,
it's been pretty damn consistent.
He's a damn good pitcher.
But you think Philly has any shot this year at all? I mean, they got a winning record right now, but you think they got a shot to make some noise when it comes later in the year?
I think Atlanta will pass them up. I mean,
the Mets got a reality check all of a sudden.
Mets 6-4 their last 10.
Who?
The Mets 6-4 their last 10 games.
Yeah, they lost 4 straight. 3 in a row to Tampa. And
Washington, 10 straight losses.
But
Cubs are hot, man. Cubs
you know
are
what,
hot.
guys? You know one thing I've learned in my many years doing this? Everything changes after All-Star break. We sit here and we talk about all this, and I don't know what it is. It's 1 week. You would think that it was like a month. But
it's not like this one.
Oh, and that was another thing I wanted to bring up. I'm going to bounce. I know you hate when we bounce. You want to know the moment?
Bouncing.
Do you want to know the moment that I knew the Panthers were going to win it all?
When I picked Edmonton?
Well, when you put what about it?
When this guy right here was in the Four Nations and he dropped his pads and stick and went straight to fight.
Oh.
For some reason, right then and there, I said, this is our team. This is the definition of the Florida Panthers right here. And that's when I knew they were going to win it all. But yeah,
like I said, probably the greatest sports trade in the history of the state of Florida is bringing that guy to the Panthers.
Yeah, but back to
this point,
back to baseball. Everything changes after All-Star break. What do you think it is, Scotty, about that 1 week?
I think it's because you're off 5 or 6 days. The rotation of all these guys being off a little bit. Some of these guys are playing, in the All-Star game, so they're not fully off. They got to prepare for it and then be part of it. And then they have a couple of days after, or a day or so, where other guys are off for like Friday. What are they off? Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday,
Thursday, and they start back up again Friday.
It's like a vacation. You come back
revived.
Some of these guys, it's like different things could happen. It could work for you and work against you. But seems like the second half of baseball, the first month after that, very tough. You got to really got to do your homework and dig deep. But it's not an easy time of the year because that week off really changes things around.
I would agree, but I would say the 2 weeks. I would say the first 2 weeks after the All-Star break for me, I tell all my clients, lighten up your bet. I go lighter.
Yeah.
Just for those first couple weeks so we can get the hang of things again. Because you're right.
Another good thing, too, guys, is you got to look for teams that might be playing the momentum going into the All-Star break. That you might not want to jump on them right after the All-Star break because now they have 6 days off, so that momentum could dry up a little bit. So you might want to just kind of pick. You got to really, really choose the matchups you really want to use. Don't just take teams that are like got momentum going because the momentum is now 6 days on vacation. So now they could be totally different when they come back for the second half. A lot of people might jump on these teams with the better records, and then they drop a couple of games right out of the second half of the season, and then all of a sudden they start getting nervous. Oh, my God, what's going on here?
Yeah, but you got to look at these guys, too. Some of them, they get elected to the All-Star game, and they don't even want to really be there. They'd rather be with their families just like the other guys. So that's their vacation. They fly out to wherever the All-Star games this year. They hang out with their family. They go out and do their stuff, and then they're back into it.
Yeah.
So.
It's very unique, though. I'm glad you brought it up about it. That second half of baseball is very tough. It really has been. I've been around it since the late 80s. I mean, I'm going into 37 years, and I see a lot of people struggle in the second half, especially till early part of August, from right when the All-Star break is. So I don't know what the rhyme or reason is. I don't know if people just get complacent because they start chasing more on these games because they had 6 days off and they didn't have much to bet on. When baseball's kind of hiatus, what do you have? You have a little WNBA and really nothing much unless I guess
you got vacation. That's what I got.
Unless you're doing soccer or something like that.
But the lines also get sharper, man, as the year goes on. And you've got 100 and some games playing so once you get 50, 60 games, you got to look at the lines. They get sharp, man. The lines definitely get sharp. It's just like football, man. The first 3-4 weeks, the lines are off, and then they adjust them, and you go. So that's the way I look at baseball on that. They're going to adjust the lines. I don't know if you watch anything about FanDuel, DraftKings. All their investors are complaining. I don't know if you've watched the latest news about them. They said, you guys are running this like a business. We want a bookmaker to run these places, not a company, because these lines are way off on a lot of stuff. I know they're using algorithms and stuff, but they're not. They're getting a lot of action on the game. This guy was talking about FanDuel that worked for FanDuel. He went to another company. Yep. They said, they just basically think they're running the stuff right off of Don Best. They're running off of, the bank odds, and they're not looking at the action on the game. And Hard Rock is finally doing something like that. If you looked at the Hard Rock last night, everywhere else in the country, Every other book, DraftKings, FanDuel, the line was minus 160. If you looked at a Hard Rock last night, you knew it
170?
actually was 190. Went to minus 200.
You're talking about the Panthers, right?
The Panthers,
Yeah.
the
but
Panthers
why
last
though?
night.
They're in
A lot
the
of
state
action.
of Florida.
Yeah, but they're getting action.
More people are jumping on the
Of
Panthers,
course,
so they're
that's what
going
I'm
to raise
saying.
it up.
Of course, and they're not doing that. They're saying FanDuel and DraftKings are just mirroring stuff. They're getting a lot of action on these games. They're not changing the lines.
But that's not an everyday circumstance, though.
Well, I'm not talking about betting wise. I'm talking you're investing in these companies and they're losing
from that point,
lots and lots of money because these odds makers are not moving the lines according to the action.
I agree with you 100%. And going to like that convention we went to in May, you can see it. You got all these people that are like these little college graduate buttoned up guys and girls and like these motherfuckers, excuse my language, I have to say it, they don't know shit about sports betting. I just have to get it off my chest. The people that are running these legal U.S. sports books, they know nothing about sports betting.
They're running their algorithms and all
Isn't that better for us, though? Why even mention it? Keep it down, guys. Keep it
I guess
down.
it is better for us.
They're mirroring lines.
Why you want to tell them to adjust?
Well, I'll tell
Let's
you.
not adjust
I'll
so
say one
quickly.
thing that's not better
Let's
for us.
leave them loosey-goosey.
One thing that's not better for us is these offshores. I say this all the time, but they give way more options. So I would like to see more options on the legal sports books.
More options as far as more bets?
Moving lines,
more types of bets?
alternate. No, more like moving lines and alternate lines. Like MGM, there's certain college football games where you can't move the line at all.
Right.
Like if it's minus 3.5, you have to bet minus 3.5.
If it's a smaller team, you mean?
Right.
It's like that in Vegas, too. We've been at the win. They wouldn't even let us buy a half a point on some of these games out there.
Yeah.
But, the offshore sets the lines, and then these places
Listen,
like FanDuel and stuff, they're just copying.
At the end of the day, we all know the books want the edge. So, I mean, they're going to give you what they want to give you.
Yeah.
It's up to you to decide if you want it or not.
Yeah.
I mean, you're not going to go in there and change the rules for them.
But then they cry about people playing offshore. It's like, hey, if you don't want people playing offshore, be as good as the offshores.
Yeah, look at the European books, man. They're pretty sharp. You still got a lot of guys in the U.S. VPN and betting over at William Hill, all these places overseas, or they'll set up accounts, VPN into Mexico or something, and then they'll bet offshore. I mean, those are still the sharpest bookmakers in the world.
When we were playing years ago, I mean, it was a 10-cent line on every game.
Every game, 5 cents on something.
I mean, it was minus 110 either way. If it was whatever it was, minus 110.
This might be dating myself with Scott. He'll probably say this thing. Hugh used to get us some beepers, lines move. We jump on the bookmakers. We'd have 2 3-point edges on games back in the day with Hugh and his beepers.
Sports beepers?
Yeah, sports page. I don't know if you remember those days.
I remember the sports beepers. Yeah, they were right when I got in.
It's just like
they've been out for a while.
Like the late 90s, early 2000s. They by the mid 2000s they were dead.
I carry that thing. It was like I was on dates and I'd be putting the shit underneath my pillow, and I turn. If I had the girl would be here, I'd be over here, turn like this, popping the green light on in the middle of the night, seeing if I'm a winner. Page. The girl's like, "What's that? What? Why is there a light on?"
Yep. It's just like the days we used to go to the track, man. We go to it's not even there.
That thing was like my girlfriend, that beeper.
I had that thing, battery dead. You'd have a heart attack. The battery started.
Remember the guy that supplied those beepers?
Huey?
Yeah.
I wonder if he's still around. I ran into him about 5-10 years ago.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, I ran him 5-10 years ago.
Yeah, a lot of guys, man, from the past. I'll tell you. I've been in it so long.
Yeah, we know so many people in this. I remember, like at the Stone Sky, we used to go to the track after the office. We had office right down the street. We used to go to the Hollywood Dog Track, man, back in the day, and they used to have the off-track.
Let me tell you something. Hollywood Dog Track on a Friday night when I moved to Florida, 15,000 people.
Yeah, same with Dania Highlight.
15,000. Crowded, packed for the dog races.
Same with Dania Highlight.
I've never seen anything like it. It just evaporated. So Highlight, the same thing. You go to the Fronton in Dania on a Friday or Saturday night, packed. People eat dinner, loving life.
10-cent beers, man. We had 10-cent beers at those places. I mean, ran some good places. That place isn't there anymore in Hollywood.
Which one? Dania Highlight?
No, not Dania Highlight. In Hollywood, or the dog track, it's not there anymore. But across the street, they used to have that bar. It was open like 5, 6 in the morning.
Yeah, it was crazy. Different times, different. Gulfstream Park, even the original Gulfstream. Packed all the time, and especially in the winter meet when the big horses came down here, like December through March. I mean, you had 20,000 people at least.
But I remember those days. I was trying to talk about the dog track down there. These guys used to have the off-track betting. They get the odds from down here, and they bet them up there at the off-track. They didn't have cell phones. They would just sit on the payphone, and they took the payphones out of the dog track because they were calling. They were getting 7-1 there, and it was 1-9 at the track.
It's like the old days. The old day before the phones. You used to run down, try to get. Hey, what do you think you got a shot to win? You chase the drivers down outside the
Pat Day and them guys.
outside the harness track. Used to run up on the side there. Hey, you got a shot? They thought you were a joke. They tell, oh yeah, well, I got a shot. Yeah, no problem.
Who was the guy who used to run at the? I used to go to a bash all the time and sit down below. Was it Johnny Campbell or was it who used to
What's
run
that?
the big jockey over at the harness back in the day?
No, John Campbell.
Campbell.
He was the best.
He was
All right, guys. Listen, great show. We touched it. We hit it all, man. We got a little nostalgia in here at the end.
Yeah, we forgot to ask about any questions coming in too today.
Yeah.
We'll save them for next week.
Yeah,
I think we're pressed for time here, right, Ben?
Ben's playing solitaire still. He's almost on the win over there.
I mean, we only got 2 questions. I'll definitely they're pretty easy. I think we might have touched them. It's OPP. He said this question is for Teddy. The Yankees can't score right now. Why over 9.5 runs today?
Because I think it breaks.
Good question.
I think it breaks eventually. I think when you have a team like that.
See, I don't like that thought.
Well, listen.
I don't like that. You think it might break.
When you have bats like the Yankees, they're the best. They're the number 1 run scoring team in.
Wouldn't you want to not listen? I'm never going to second guess your opinions, but wouldn't you rather see them perform for a little bit, see they're hitting again, then start maybe dabbling with the Yankees to
Not
pop
necessarily.
runs?
I'm ready to pull a trigger.
Okay, cool.
I'm ready to pull a trigger.
All right,
but no, they.
That's what I love about you. Man.
So the Angels pitcher has a 5.53 ERA. The bullpen is the 28th ranked bullpen in the league. And I just think the Yankees turn it around. They have, by the way, the Angels have the highest home run percentage in baseball right now.
Yeah, they got Mike Trout back.
So they can hit some bombs. The Yankees have the Yankees
Would
have
you bet the Yankees tonight, or you just play the total? The
I think
Yankees
I'm playing
225 favorite.
No, I think I'm playing the total here.
Okay, cool.
Yeah,
and it's what 9.5?
Yeah, 9.5, depending on the book.
All right, excellent.
We did that yesterday. We were doing a little.
That was a game I put on my broadcast channel. I forgot about that one.
Yeah, we were on the live yesterday, and I put in a bet right under the under in the Panther game under 6.5.
Nice.
See, that's something, guys, and we're going to wrap this up in a second. But that's something I would totally stay clear of. If a team's playing bad and they're not finding ways to score runs, I want to see what they can do before I start jumping in and betting them on unders or overs. You know, right now, obviously, they're not producing any runs at all, but you know it's going to turn around sooner or later. But when is that sooner and when is that later? So I want to see a little performance on teams like that. Then I see that they're, coming back to their normal way of playing. Then I might start dabbling a little stronger. And I might play lighter right now until they start bouncing it back up and showing a little
Well, that's why it's a free play and not a
free.
private play. Yeah, it
All
was
right.
a broadcast. What's the other question, Ben?
The other question is, I got Tigers and Astros tonight. How do you guys feel about those 2 teams tonight?
Well, we already
talked that one.
We already talked about the Astros
And
and
a parlay, that's the only, I guess, how can you not talk about the Tigers, right? They're playing great, and they got their best guy
But
on.
we did say the line was
300.
300. So yeah, I guess if to answer your question, Bud, I would not lay 300 on a game. I don't care how good it is.
Parlays in the first
Maybe
place.
the first 5 innings, like minus a run or something, I would see what that line is, but I would not bet minus 300.
Go.
All right, that's it. Sounds good. All right, guys, great show. Love the fact the Panthers got the job done and get the cup back here in
Thank God
Sunrise.
it's over.
TK is.
Thank God it's over. Bring on football.
Bring on football, Lord above.
I'm gonna start kicking them now over here.
Yeah, what happened to your machine you were to bring?
I forgot it, man. I was
I
rushing
figured
there.
today would be the perfect day to buzz me.
I gotta sneak it in, man. I gotta make it a surprise over here.
All right, guys, we appreciate you following us here live. You can check us all out on social media. I'm going to throw it to my man TK. T, how can they find you?
They can find me. The best place to go is right on my Instagram. You can check it out at TK Wins. I'm all over TikTok as well, but the best spot to find me is at TK Wins on Instagram, or go directly to my website, tkwins.com. That's the best places to catch me on.
We'll see you in football season, man.
I'll be ready.
Now the hockey and now the basketball's over. He's going to football league.
I'm going to ask Ben I'm going to bring in a stripper pole right here. We'll get the Vixens girls in here in a couple weeks.
You keep saying you're bringing them in here. I'm waiting. I'm waiting. I wore a nice shirt for them.
We could get something going in there.
I even wore
Ben
black.
would enjoy that.
Yeah, I even wore black instead of white. There you go. All right, my main man, Teddy Brooks.
You're about to call me TK.
I was going to call you
TK. 2
TK.
T's. It's confusing. Got
Yeah.
T on each side.
I'm telling you.
You can go to thesportsprofits.com. You can go to the_profits_pick. And if you do go to that Instagram channel, make sure you look for the blue check mark and make sure you join the broadcast channel, because I post free games on the broadcast channel that I don't post on the regular Instagram, like that over that OPP was talking about.
Gotta love, guys. Gotta love what these guys do here, and they put it out there. They show you a side of them. We put out free stuff. We're not telling you guys to bet the roof on any of these games. We just tell you to have some fun with them, get some real professional opinions. Use them if you like them. Use them if you don't like them. Don't use them. It's plain and simple. But don't rub us if you bet a lot of money on them by doing it yourself and taking a free play and jumping on it for crazy money. They're not games to go heavy on, right, guys?
Yeah, some of these guys, they bet like $250 a game regularly, and then they'll go $1,000 on the free game. Like,
because they trust you.
Yeah, I guess that's a good thing.
That's it. All right, guys. I'm Scott Matthews. Love doing this show each and every week with these guys right next to me. Get the Edge Sports Podcast. You can find the show, obviously, on Instagram. Not on Instagram. Well, you can find it on Instagram through me. You can find it on all podcast forums. Spotify, Apple, you name it. We're there. And you could check me out. I put out free stuff all the time. We've been on a nice little run with our free stuff over the last several days and weeks. Very consistent with the games. Everything is for free. It's at my official page with the blue check mark, verified. SM Sports Picks, Picks. And also you could join my broadcast channel like TK mentioned. He has his. Teddy has his. And I have mine. You could join for free and get additional stuff each and every day. Have a great day today. We'll be back here next Wednesday. We're going to have some good stuff to talk about. We're going to have to come up with new ideas to talk about because
I already gave you an idea right there. We got to change that. We got to get a couple of guests on here. I talked to a couple of guys. They said they were coming this year, so
all right,
we got to get some guests on here as well.
All right. Have a great day, everybody. We'll catch you back here next Wednesday.
Let's see how it's going to answer to win the Stanley Cup.
Stuttering like stuttering John half the time.
Plus 1,000?